Judy Bonds, the director of Coal River Mountain Watch, and her beautiful mountains painted on the side of the building. And people so embedded, so ingrained, that they're tattooing what the mountains used to look like onto their arms before this started coming out of their kitchen sink. These are water samples. When they wash the coal, there's something called coal slurry, coal sludge. Billions of gallons worth of this toxic water, this sludge that they don't know what to do with. So Massey started loading it into the, capped off the abandoned mines and filled the abandoned mines with this. Of course, all the people are on groundwater. Took a couple of years to get through into their water system, but in the meantime, the people have been drinking this water for 4 years, 5 years. And the coal plants, when they wipe their back porches, this is what they're breathing every day. This is what's on their back porches. And a young girl who would never be able to have children, and whose legs are atrophied. By the time they finally got the water tested in their house, it took them almost 3 years to do so. This is what had been pouring into it. It's 500 times the toxicity of accepted levels. Inside their home, when I walked in, my lungs actually seized. They couldn't use any of the water that was in their homes. I brought probably 15 gallons of water with me. These are pennies that have been left out in their laundry room for only a week. They can't sell their home. They've lost all the equity. It used to be worth $300,000-$400,000. Now they couldn't sell it for $12,000 because no one's going to buy this home. There's nowhere for them to go. They have to live inside this place. And the pills that Billy Sammons has to take once a month. He's a retired sheriff. And this is his only boy, who's been passing kidney stones since the age of 5. And can only go outside once a week. Because while his body was growing and developing when he was young, he was drinking and consuming that water without them knowing it. Sometimes a story I reflect back and it seems like something we should be seeing in some other, forgive me, third world. But this is happening in our own backyard in West Virginia. A number of stories in the environment are also about the after effects of war. I first stepped back into history, looking at where these mines came from, what was originally the killing fields. I looked at the faces, the portraits that were staring straight into this photographer from Tuslang prison where 19,000 people went in and 7 people emerged alive. The portraits were straight, direct into the camera. And this foreshadowed what I would do with the portraits and the people that I would photograph from this story. We're living in this country littered with landmines more so than any place in the world. The father with his young boy at the clinic to be seen. They use the coconut to make the veins of the hands so they're more realistic. In the 20 years of my life that I've been covering, what I've been covering from the 2 intifadas, the wars in Bosnia, I started in the streets of Belfast, the genocide in Rwanda for 3 months, apartheid South Africa. All those places should have shaped my vision, but it didn't. Everything is about what we project energetically. And when you think of the slight twist of phrase, the different thought process of what you think emotionally, when you think of this man as a landmine victim, then a couple of hours into this project, after I'd done the other portraits and I started to look at some of these people, and you see this man not as a landmine victim, but as a landmine survivor. And just the essence of that word, survivor, as opposed to victim. Because this man has to give me this image. My interpreter is not there. I do not speak his language. Yet he has to let me in. Why does he let me in? Why does he let any of us in? What is the language that goes on between all of us? The voice that we don't hear. That allows him without a language to allow me to step into that space and to make that image. And for her. She's lost both of her legs, obviously. Her husband left her, taking their 6-month-old, and he's already remarried. And she's here alone, without her child, without a husband, without her legs, working in the killing fields, still to this day, for less than $1 a day, is what she's willing to trade her life for. And yet she has the strength to give me this photograph. That is strength and dignity and power that I'll never know, and I'm so humbled. Beyond words. Because I feel a part of me is in her, and a part of her is in me, as in each and every one of us here. And that becomes the difficulty, is that we see ourselves as separate. We see ourselves as different from that child in Rwanda, from this woman, from the polar bears. All of us are in this world together, obviously. We struggle to find unity. We struggle to find compassion. And we ask ourselves why we care. Why do you care about this woman? Why do I care about her? What drives me to do this kind of work? What drives all of us and all of our voices that are here? Ultimately, it comes down to making a difference and sharing her life with the world. That's the responsibility that I have as a photographer and as a storyteller. The stories that I'm entrusted with. And his eyes as he lets me straight into his soul. I see nothing else when I look at this image. I see nothing else when I look into his eyes, except straight into his soul. In this gift of a photograph. As we walk through this injured world together, we struggle for meaning daily. All of us do. My photographs are my language. So thank you for sharing in Drummond. Thank you for such a beautiful, beautiful event you have here. And your staff, thank you.